We're going to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. We will start with a prayer by Pastor Steve, and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and roll call.
Let's pray. Lord, again, we thank you for your very presence here today, and we thank you that you continually guide us. Lord, I do pray for direction for each one of our council members. Lord, continue to give them guidance and wisdom. And Lord, we do pray for our village that it becomes more successful. And Lord, we pray that we look towards you each and every day. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Baker?
Yep.
Bassett is absent. Jones?
Here.
Ridgway?
Present.
Beverly?
Present.
Barth?
Here.
Dr. Hilbert, would you step forward, please?
I only need this to get back up if I fall down.
If you could turn around and face the
Let Peter know.
desk here.
Yes, let Peter have a picture.
Where if he's doing the picture before, then we'll dispose of it.
Look up at me, sir. One more. Okay.
It's official now, the Tribune's here.
He's always here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that Mike was coming around.
I
Look up behind you.
in late, he wouldn't have wanted me to mention that.
He came around the other way.
Shall we sing?
I will read this to you now. It's a proclamation. On behalf of the Village of Hicksville, myself, and the Village Council, we are pleased to recognize June 4th, 2019 as Dr. Alan Hilbert Day in our community. Whereas Dr. Alan Hilbert will be celebrating his 100th birthday on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019, and whereas we, the community of Hicksville, do hereby express sincere and heartfelt thanks to Dr. Alan Hilbert. Dr. Hilbert chose to remain in our village to work, reside, and raise his family for the majority of his 100 years, leaving only to continue his education and serve his country.
Right.
If that's correct.
That's true.
Okay.
And I'm glad that's it.
We're happy too. It is fitting that we appropriately recognize Dr. Alan Hilbert's compassion for this community and the service to others. He will always be remembered for his great memory of historical details and friendship to all. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand to seal this 3rd day of June, 2019.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful to have something to say about what happened in Hicksville when we didn't have any money to get it done. That was for quite a while. Thank you for your recognition, and it was an opportunity.
Now you stay right here. Stay right here.
Of course, not this high.
I too have a proclamation. We'll get a picture out of the way, I guess.
I guess so. Okay, good. I want one of the Just a Great Doctor also. Thank you.
Just say about you, man.
Our proclamations aren't nearly as nice as yours, but we don't have the money you guys have.
Whose fault is this?
But this is a proclamation, and it says a lot of the same things that Diane said. And I am, being from Hicksville and knowing you so long and so personally, I'm honored to be the one who bring this to you today. Proclamations are wonderful, but I see the world a little bit differently. In 1959, my dad noticed one of my eyes not blinking. You saved my life.
Oh.
This man.
law.
Thank you.
Yes. After you.
Thank you, Mick.
This is so heavy, I thought I'd better bring it back there.
It's heavier now than it was 10 years ago. Thank you very much.
You're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave.
I think that the charcoal that I lighted a while ago is probably...
Ready?
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you all. Bye-bye.
That's very nice to be able to honor him for his years of service in the community. So I hope everybody that sees him on his birthday, June 4th, wishes him a happy birthday.
June 4th is tomorrow, correct? Yep.
Yes, that's tomorrow. You have the May 20th regular council meeting minutes in your packet. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve, as George Cherry would say.
I make a motion to approve. Real second.
Roll call, please.
Baker? Yes. Barth?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Jones?
Abstain.
Ridgway?
Yes.
You have the approved bills list in your packet. Are there any questions?
Police coloring totes. What's a coloring
Those
tote?
they are handbags that you can color on that we got for digging the park.
Oh. I thought maybe things were slow around the office.
Crayons.
Okay.
So
Thank you for that, Mark. EMS Life Pack for $23,722.
That is about 10,000 under what it's actually 20,000 under what I budgeted. And I gave you a letter last week, planning was purchasing one of those.
Okay. So that was what we ended up with, was 23,722. Okay. And wastewater treatment plant scale, $2,178.17.
It was a scale for in their lab, the old one conked out.
I didn't know they did any lab work down there.
Not much, but they still need to do some.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have. Nobody else has anything? We pay the bills.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Ridgway?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes.
Baker? Yes.
Thank you. Well, we will go on to the Planning Commission. We held a public hearing on a rezoning application for 407 West High Street. Currently A1 agricultural and R2 single family. The request by Karen Schmidt would rezone the lots to B1 central business and B2 local business and B3 general business. The Planning Commission approved the request.
That just, because there wasn't a map, that just takes them over to that last house, correct?
I see something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
And then the Planning Commission will hold a public hearing on an application for a lot split June 20th in the zoning office at 108 North Main Street. The request is from Marvin and Janice Edwards, 321 West High Street, to Paul Yoder. The split is .07 acres, more or less. And if you have an interest in that, please show up. We will go on to committee reports of council. It looks like, let's see here. Police Fire and Committee met May 20th. That was brought up at the last council meeting.
Right. Yes.
And I made some notes about our discussion. That was, we spent the time talking to the chief of police, and I made some notes on that. I sent to you today just to confirm that I covered everything, and I'll turn them in to council. Are there any other council committee reports? Any committees that would like to report anything?
Did the ordinance get together about grass?
No. I think he talked to Chief about that. And
I sent him an email back, but I haven't heard back from him. The email he asked what my thoughts were. I remember I replied something about it would be hard to enforce, for one. I think he talked about, it was an exceptional, a large amount of grass. You can't determine what's going to be considered a large amount of grass compared to a small amount. You don't want to get into that comparing. It's either you can't do it or you can't do it. So I suggest we research if that's what you want to look at as far as an ordinance goes. I suggest we research any villages that have that ordinance and how it is enforced.
I think that's what he was going to do when I talked to him.
So that was, I believe, what I sent back to him. And like I said, I didn't hear back from Eric, so.
We tried this before, and it went absolutely nowhere.
We never tried this before.
We talked and talked and talked about it. But we never had anybody that could back it up, the grounds.
Back it up.
Just like you said. Just
enforce it?
Yeah.
Well, if never mind.
Well, I think what she's saying is you got to have some quantifiable, this is a violation, this isn't a violation. It's like the grass being too tall. You got a number, a height, and if it's below that, even if it looks like crap, it's not a violation. And if it's above that, it is a violation. And I think that's what Mark's suggesting, just to say, hey, if you're going and you're mowing your grass properly and you throw a little bit out there, it's okay. But if you're the guy that's blowing everything out into the road and it's a lot's not a legal term. I mean, whose decision is what's a lot and what's not?
Well, that's the problem. Laws and common sense don't always.
Right.
That's absolutely right.
Right.
But you got to be able to enforce a law.
There you go.
And if Mark's definition of a lot is different than one of his other guys' definition is different than your definition, my definition, you have a problem enforcing it. I mean, if there's some quantifiable way of it, I'd be happy to, but I haven't looked at the ordinances that other places may have. I presume they have a zero tolerance policy.
You what? Oh.
I know the Village of Ohio City was the latest one that I know just created that ordinance, which is down in Bangor County.
And what?
What's that?
And what way? How'd they word it?
I have not read their ordinance.
Okay.
I just saw it was on the news that they were.
I just think it's going to be really hard to enforce. The people that I've seen done, I've just confronted them with it. But you have to catch it in the act. You can't go knocking on your door and say, hey.
Well, this will be hard to enforce.
Sure.
You're going to have.
They're going to say, I didn't do it. Somebody else mowed my yard.
Someone blows a little bit of grass. And they're going to call it in, and we're going to be responding to those complaints all summer long.
Yep.
As long as mowing season's in, we will be responding to those. But you don't want to get into what's a lot, what's not a lot, what's going to be the minimum that we cite. That's going to be hard. That's a hard factor to determine.
Well, that's where today Bub spent almost 3 hours cleaning off catch basin tops. I mean, that goes with territory.
Yeah.
But then, and I won't name the guy that did it, and I won't even tell you the address. He mowed his first 2 strips out in the grass, then he hooked his bagger up and did the rest of his yard. I just tell.
Did he come back and then blow it back in? Sometimes they do that.
Because I went down and checked later.
Sometimes.
So you got people that just go out of their way to be.
I look at it this way because it's a judgment call at times. It's like if you do speeding tickets, and the rate of speed some people drive. You go by and you can't see a white line going down the side of the road. You can't even see it, and there's grass covering the road. To me, that would quantify maybe a warning and say, hey, don't do this again. If I come by here and see it next week or 2 weeks, I'm going to hit you with, not hit you with something, but You could be fined or something, I guess. But, you know, maybe
Well,
that would.
that's agreeable, but for us to present that in court, that's what it comes into play here, is being able to go into court and prove it.
Right.
Okay? So that's why it's got to be very specific. You know?
I know, it's touchy.
I mean, think of it in comparison, it's totally different, but like window tint on a vehicle, you and I might drive by and say, oh, that's too dark, you know, we can't see such and such guy. No, you got to be able to prove there's a certain percentage of light that has to be able to through, and the officers that do it, they got a special, you know, a piece of equipment, they go out and test it or whatever, and it's either over or it's under, whatever the magic number is. And the magic number was set by somebody at the state or whatever. You don't just go by and Mark says, oh, that tint's too dark, and he writes him a ticket, and then the next officer goes by and says, nah, it's probably okay. You got to be able to quantify it somehow. Speed's the same way, obviously. Radar, laser, or whatever to tell you what your speed is.
Well, I guess we'll go on, and I guess if there's going to be a discussion continued with this, the committee can do that.
Sounds like another dead horse we'll drag
Get some samples.
Drag
We'll just drag it out there.
it out there right now.
Sample ordinances from other communities, and see if any of them will work for you. Any other committee reports? We'll go on then. Administrator's report.
You know, just one last time on that. I wish we could do something, but I also think it's going to be a pain in the neck to enforce.
Yeah.
If somebody can get creative, that'd be great. Okay, now back to this stuff. First thing on the list, the real estate tax exempt application. I was shocked I heard back already from the state on that. Usually takes them a year. But that was for the parcel they created for when the library remodeled. So they approved that, and we'll get a rebate check here at some point. Later this week and then next week as well, Jeff and Austin are going to be in Bellevue, Ohio for 2 full days. So Bub's going to have to cover the sewer plant those days. One of the plans for the digs changed. They did not come today to do East Smith. So we're going to have to re-notify residents when we get a firm date. So apologize for that, but we thought it was happening today. The headache tomorrow is still planned, so I'll have people tied up on that.
Can you say what that is for the people who are watching?
No, for the 5 people watching, it's Hicks and High Street. Or from basically from Railroad Street to Bunnell. It's going to be totally closed. Cars we can easily detour. Trucks, I'm going to have a guy sitting at Elm Street at the 4-way stop, trying to head them all off to Industrial Drive. And then the same at Defiance Avenue. We're going to head them all off to go out Industrial Drive. So I know there'll be semi-drivers.
The High Street viaduct will be closed.
Yeah, in Railroad Street and Bunnell. Cars can easily detour, but I'm sure they'll still have some people that are upset about having to go 2 blocks out of their way. But that's still on. Then as far as activities the next few weeks, as they've got there, we're changing plans all the time due to digs popping up. The episode Friday didn't help any, that killed a whole day. And then as far as the next couple weeks, you can see there where I'm going to be short-handed people-wise. And then I forgot also on the 10th, Bub's got to go get commodity, so I won't have a street department that day either. So we'll see how that goes. I still haven't heard anything now on Use Argon paving or the painting here at the building. People worried about mosquitoes. We did spray last Thursday. Probably will spray again this week, weather permitting. And there's just an update. I guess we can talk about that. It's a public record, isn't it? The well field stuff. Just so you got an idea, and then you don't fall over and you get some invoices in the next couple months. As far as I know, I've got all of the different sampling people under contract. And total amount's gonna be right around $60,000 by the time we're said and done, just taking samples. That's not gonna count any test wells. And at this point, looks like the first week of July is when the first group will be in. It's just been way too wet, and they ended up getting booked for June. And then I guess the last thing for me is the discussion on the Froggy Park bar across the gate, or
That
bar
looked
across
nice
the...
what you guys did.
Is it staying up, or am I taking it down?
It looked nice to me.
Well, but Warburg says they can't turn around now.
Well, it looks like they can pull in a little bit to back out.
Well, can't they turn around there at the apartments there at Avers? They back in there to pick up a dumpster anyhow. Right there at the apartments.
Until whatever it is came up, I didn't know they couldn't fit under the viaduct, so.
I mean, a whirler truck turns around there because he picks up a dumpster there by the railroad tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, he's already halfway done.
And I don't know why it's up to
us as a village to provide a turnaround point for a private entity. And in all my years of doing paving and reconstruction, where the garbage trucks backed in all the time is, I made a lot of money there, because they just rut them up big time. I don't think it's any of our responsibility.
We don't want big trucks in that park, so.
Well, no, that's why we put the bar up.
So I'd say leave it there, is my opinion. It looks like they can pull in enough to back out. Looks like it to me, because there's about 10 foot off the road.
But Larry's 100% right. I mean, they pull up and then they back around. I can't see why they can't pull those out first.
Well, this was all news to me. I didn't know for the past year and a
We didn't know they were turning
half, that's what they were doing. I thought they fit under the viaduct.
She mentioned about in the contract, it was just discussed. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, Cheryl got it out and skimmed through it, and I don't see it spelled out where we
So I don't
said they could turn
It just says
around
that
there.
they get to choose their route. They plan their route. We don't.
Fine.
There's nothing.
All it says.
When semis and stuff get done, I was talking to the police about this. You know, they're backing up quite a ways, especially the semis, to get back up to Musargan. And sometimes they need escorts and people watching and people being patient. I'm sure the dump truck had been backing up quite a ways to get, well, not near as far as Musargan, but still. Kind of a dangerous setting with cars coming at them. And what's it doing backing up? Trying to figure out what that was all about. But I say leave it up. And if they can try to make another arrangement.
I agree.
That's the whole purpose, is to keep them out of that.
General consensus is you leave your post up, Kent.
Well, that's fine. I just figured find out so we let Whirler know. And then the only thing, just for general knowledge for a few people around town, in the past, when we would have to go pick up trash, when we had our own truck, we pretty much just charged for our time, and I'd maybe figure 1% of the landfill bill. People were getting off pretty cheap. Since we don't have our own truck, and we've done it once, and then later this week we're doing it again, so you'll probably hear from this landlord. They don't do live loads with 4-yard dumpsters, so I had to order a 10, which is going to be overkill, but tough. So the guy's probably going to end up with about a $450, $500 bill instead of the usual $75. So I guess for people out there where we got to start picking up your trash, the days of free, basically free service, $75 is cheap compared to having to get a dumpster and doing it yourself. That's over. The house we did on East Edgerton about a month ago, that's what we did. We did a live load with Whirler, sent them the bill for what it was. We'll end up assessing it because those people will never pay. So anyway, it'd just be nice if people would set their trash. I don't know why this guy's accumulating it behind the house. He could set out a few bags every week in his trash can and get rid of it. And the landlord's not paying any attention either, so. I guess if anybody's going to care in the future, I can imagine a lot won't, because they're renters, they won't care.
Right.
Like landlords don't always care. But now they're going to start paying big time for trash pickup.
Maybe that would be a deterrent.
Yes.
To some of them, it might be like, well, before, if it was only $75, like you said, that's easier to have you pick it up and pay the $75 than to do it yourself.
Got to make their names
available or say their
I'm
name.
just saying, if you start hearing from people, you'll know that's why, because we don't have a way of disposing the trash or to getting a dumpster in.
Because we're not in the trash business.
Oh, and that's something too for the entire public. We don't do general pickups anymore. I'm getting tired of those phone calls. They should know after 2 years. Call workers. That's just,
Okay.
That's
Anything
it.
else? Any questions for Kent? All right. Thanks, Kent. We will go on to the department head reports. May we have the police chief, please?
Well, maybe. There we go. All right. Because I hadn't given you April stats. So April, we had 536 calls for service, 260 cases we worked. For the month of May, we had 448 calls for service and 249 cases. There was one, I just realized there was one note, there was on the billing thing, it says the Ford Taurus was for the tires. It was not the Taurus. It was the white SUV for the two front tires, and not the Taurus. Other than that, that's...
How about junk vehicles?
We are down to, we just resolved one over the weekend as the cars were removed from the property. I believe we just had one in Mayor's Court last week. And then I think we have one that's still pending.
With that same person.
Is it with the same?
We still have the same person that's got.
Okay. Is that the Chicago Avenue one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yep, so that's where we're at with that.
Okay.
So.
You've gotten a lot of them. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So,
Any
that's
other
all I
questions? Thanks.
All right.
Fire chief?
Does anybody have questions? I really don't have anything.
Nope. Thank you for coming.
Just one, Scott, your pancake and sausage at the
park.
Is that the park? Is it here? Or?
It's at the park. We'll be doing to the tent they're putting up down there.
Oh.
We're going to be cooking down there and everything, so, and it's a free will donation.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if you were having fire hall or...
Nope, it's down at the park.
All right, thank you. Okay. Ron, are you here representing the park board?
Yes.
Do you have anything you'd like to report to council at the podium?
It's a lot of work.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
But we're meeting again tomorrow evening at the maintenance building there about 8 o'clock. And everything seems to be working out quite well in that respect. It's the first time for any of us. And we have a lot of hot dogs and, food trucks and vendors. And we've gotten a lot of donations and a lot of things like that, and a lot of activities.
Well, since I have the list in front of me for the day in the park, June 29th, it starts out with the fire department's pancake and sausage breakfast. There's 3-on-3 basketball, softball home run derby, volleyball tournament, 5K color run, cornhole tournament, bounce houses, dunk tank, pony rides, petting zoo, clown and face painting, Boy Scout silent auction, a car bike show, Girl Scout tent, and free admission to the pool all day. So that's a lot of activities.
I'd like to add something to that, Diane. The committee, and I know Corey Wan's been working real hard on getting all the paperwork around, working with the insurance companies and Troy and Gerald and helping a lot with money coming in, so a big thank you to all those who've been doing the extra to get this taken care of. So doing a great job. I think for the first year they got a lot, like I said, a lot of stuff on. They do have a monster truck coming. I believe it was a late notice kind of thing over the weekend. Found a sponsor for that, so it'd be fun for the whole family. It'd be very nice. Eagles is helping. A lot of organizations are coming out for it.
It looks like your sponsorships are coming in very well. Cheryl gave us a list, and looks great. I would love to give you the list of people that's going to be in the dunk tank so people could come and try to dunk them. But my name's at the top of the list.
As well it should be.
I'll be the first.
Start at the top and work down.
Yep. Thank you.
So the rest
You need to get them all in the dunk tank.
Yeah, we need, you know, all the city officials.
I'm busy later in the afternoon, so I can't swim very well, so.
He doesn't want to wear himself out. Thank you, Ron. Okay, we will go on to the fiscal officer's report.
In your packet, you have the fund status, and on the desk tonight was the May income tax and utility collections. I also had the report on Day in the Park information that I have. Your next packet will be here in your mailbox because I'll be gone next week, not this week, but all of next week to a conference in Sandusky. So I won't be here to do your packets till Saturday. So if you can pick them up Saturday afternoon. And I need to see if you can get the personnel manual approved, the updates.
I just want to comment on Cheryl's fund status report, looking it over. Our general fund balance is only $508,000, and that really concerns me.
Okay, at the last meeting, it was transferred to capital projects, and I wasn't here at the last meeting. What was that for? Because it was up over $1 million, the general fund.
Right, until the transfer was done, and that was part of the budget. It was 380 for capital projects. I think 75,000 went in police pension.
Okay, because it was looking pretty good till that transfer. But what was the capital projects?
What was in your budget for capital projects?
Paving. Okay. Yeah, that's dangerously low.
So that concerns me. And then looking at the police pension fund we've been transferring around $50,000 in there every year from the general fund to support that. And I really think that we need to renew the levy. We've never, ever touched that levy since I've been here. And, you know, that's money coming out of the general fund also.
You not thinking about raising the rates, but just renew it so it's caught up to...
I would at least call them and find out if we renew it, what it will go up to. Maybe that would be self-supporting then in this day.
Probably, because it was back when it was assessed way back.
Yeah, 70s or 80s.
Wow.
The assessment probably wouldn't be enough.
What?
The assessment probably wouldn't be enough.
I don't know.
We just have to call and find out what...
The auditor has that information?
What it would collect.
The auditor?
Yeah, she should be able to tell Cheryl if she calls. You know, the fire levy, the revenue's $221,000 and we've spent $247,000, and I imagine that's with our EMS expenses that we have is probably going to continue to decline. And then the refuse operating, we've collected 71 and we've spent $121,000. Now, Kent was the first to point out when we decided that we were going to contract out our service that we were going to be going in the hole, so that's just something that the Finance Committee needs to keep an eye on as far as I'm concerned.
Because you're going to have to remember too, we still got 6 months yet this year, and we're running about 16,000 a month, so you got another 100 grand eating off of that at least by the end of the year. You're not going to have a whole lot of carryover.
I think Kim's doing a great job in the income tax department, up 19% compared to the same time last year. Well, that's for the month of May only. 7% is a annual. Does anyone have any questions for Cheryl about any of her reports?
It's an hour.
Did you all get a chance to look at the manual to see if you're
Monthly fee, 50 cents a wheel.
okay with the proposed changes? Cheryl, you and I talked about something last week. I don't remember what it was. That
It's about
So if you're, I mean, I assume the department heads all looked at it.
That was like a year ago. This has been ongoing, so vote.
Get it done.
I have not seen.
Well, you may not.
You didn't give him a copy?
Not this time.
The committee looked it over and got the blessing. You're talking about the personnel, yeah.
Okay.
Eric had a few tweaks, and I think that's in there, right, Cheryl? The few.
Yeah, it says say approved by the mayor, pre-approved by the mayor. The overnight stays. That was his tweaking.
But the committee, right, you're, and I am, and Eric's fine. So as far as the committee, it come out of committee, 100% for it. So we probably could
Motion
vote.
to approve. What? What?
Never mind.
What happened, Kent?
I don't know why the mayor has to pre-approve overnight travel. Can't the department heads?
That was a suggestion that Eric made.
Yes.
And in there it says that, but the department head has to go to the mayor then. It says that, because I thought the same thing you did. And then a different part it
Just
says
adding
that.
another layer of...
Red tape.
It was just a suggestion, so I guess council wants that taken out, we could.
I don't think that's necessary myself, because I feel like the department heads ought to be able to make that approval of overnight travel.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Strike that out.
Then a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept everything except the overnight approval by the mayor. Department heads that would do it.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Second. Baker?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Ridgway?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Barth?
Yes.
Chance to read it.
Thank you.
I hope you were done, Kent.
Okay.
That was his only, that he's told me about.
Well, he's still flipping pages and stuff.
No, I don't have that.
Some more?
I just was hoping that would have never even made the cut. And I'm not going to, is this village-wide or is this just for, the police and fire have some of their own policies? I guess that's all I'm asking.
I was with the impression that it was everybody that worked for the village.
Well, I just need to know, so
That's the impression I got.
if
Yes.
somebody says something.
We have policies and procedures, yes. I don't think it, I'm working on policy and procedure, let's put it that way. I don't know if there's anything in our policy and procedure.
That's what I don't know. I'm just bringing up if,
I would think that yours should
specific.
not go against the entire one of the village, because this is,
I mean, I agree with the overnight stay, it doesn't need to keep micromanaging. If the department head feels it's gotta be overnight stay, it's gonna be an overnight stay.
and likewise, your personnel manual will need approved by
Right, it'll be, yeah.
council.
Well, I know it's approved by Troy and probably, is it the back committee, Brian? Or, you know.
well, no, the only reason I bring that up, and it's nothing, again, so don't take it personal. I just know if there's a clause in there that, say, one of my people gets bounced with, and they find out, well, that's just for us, it doesn't affect them any because their policy is different. That's the only reason I was asking is this.
But we always had a variation between the general
Depending on
consensus.
what the issue would be is the
Not
main
the
thing.
personnel matter.
No, this one is for everybody.
Yes.
all departments. Council, mayor, me,
PD.
everybody. And then the departments have their own, that's
Well, but
with their own.
all I was getting at is,
Go against our
let's say it's a
Right.
policy X,
Right.
but you guys are okay with not doing policy X. That's all I'm trying to
They're
avoid.
specific to their department. Like the fire has one, EMS has one, police has one, utilities, income tax, each one has a policy and procedure that's specific to them.
But it can't be
That's not
less than what's in that, is what.
Right.
If a department head ignores the personnel manual, he does so at his own peril, because.
Because I'll catch them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't think about it,
I know
Ken.
what you're
So,
saying.
council members, we need to have our own little group. We might even have to unionize.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl. Did anybody have any other questions for Cheryl? Okay, well, I've got, you had in your packet the meeting from the downtown building owners meeting regarding the downtown community development block grant. I mean, a little bit's changed even since this meeting was held, so between Dennis Miller at Maumee Valley Planning and Pogemeyer Design Group, they're both working together to help us get this done. But there still are some changes since this meeting. But they're keeping the interested business people updated on that.
Is there quite a few interested?
How many did I say came? I don't know.
You didn't.
About 8 people. I mean, eight downtown
13.
property owners. Oh, 13?
13 people were present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can only have three in the application or whatever.
Correct.
It's a pretty good deal.
Well, maybe not.
Well, and it was going to be the $80,000 limit for each one, but that's changed. There's not an $80,000 limit anymore. It could be more, and then the next person would get less. So like I said, even since this last meeting, things have changed, so I'm still letting them work out the details, and they're keeping the business owners appraised of that. Right now, they just need to all get in their letter of interest. So Carla Hinkle at the Defiance County Economic Development Office is putting on a summer manufacturing camp, and last year this was held at Hicksville School. It was Hicksville and Fairview students. Fairview was bused over here, and then they went to different places and saw some opportunities for manufacturing. 5 Acre Mill, Spangler's, APT. This year it's going to be held at Fairview, and I don't believe that, I don't know if Hicksville School has promoted this, but I'm not aware of any Hicksville students that have signed up, so if you... Oh, okay, all right. So anybody that's interested should, I think, check the flyer on the front window at City Hall, and it tells you how to reach Carla to get in the program. Hopefully there'll be some Hicksville students there. And then Congressman Latta is going to hold, Congressman Latta's staff to hold casework on site in Hicksville. So the office of Congressman Bob Latta will host casework on site where staff members will be available to assist constituents with any federal department or agency issue on Thursday, June 3rd from 11 to 12:30. June 13th. Oh, sorry, June 13th. I should have let you read this. Okay, Thursday, June 13th from 11 to 12:30 here in the council chambers. You can stop by and talk to Congressman Latta's office to help with constituent services. So, residents need not, it's not required to RSVP, but should contact Congressman Latta's office at 800-541-6446 if they have any questions. That's 541-6446 if they have any questions. It'd be nice if some people showed up to talk to them. And then I've talked to you about the Chautauqua event put on by the Ohio Humanities. It was originally set to be held at Auglaize Village. It starts tomorrow. The council was all invited to be under the big tent for the VIP night. Morgan Bland, our local talent, is playing for a couple hours down there, but it's moved. That's the important thing to know. The event has moved from Auglaize Village to the Defiance Public Library parking lot because of the Auglaize Village ground being saturated with water and there's no place to park. So if you're going to the Chautauqua event in the evenings, go there. There's a full schedule of things going on. In Hicksville on Friday, someone's going to be impersonating Robert F. Kennedy at the Johnson Memorial Library at 10:30 a.m. Also on Friday, someone's going to be impersonating Julia Child at the Johnson Memorial Library at 2. And then that evening, in Defiance, Jerome Schooley's going to play, some other local talent. And then on Saturday, which is the 8th, at the Huber at 1 o'clock, someone's going to be there impersonating Irma Bombeck. But every night, there's evening entertainment and people to listen to, so it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, hopefully some Hicksville people will go down there and enjoy it. Does anybody else have anything to mention that's going on? Or Thursday night opening concert on the Huber porch by the Wannabes was well attended and great music. Hopefully some of you will make it there. Anything else?
I heard Mary Juan did a great job getting the people back in Hicksville. It was busy.
Very nice.
Very busy. And I think Christmas Cruiser did well with their barbecue.
Yeah, the rain didn't flood them out in the old high school lot.
All right.
Why don't we just haul off and adjourn?
I'll second it.
That's because Eric's not here.
I was waiting, and I figured.
Give somebody else a chance.
Yes. Don't want to be adjourned home.
Jones?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Barth? Yes. Beverly?
Yes.
Ridgway?
Yes.